Alright, today we start out with a different kind of vehicle. It doesn't have off-road tyres, and I think this is a Porsche. And we're going to do a few things with this. We need to today check on the washer pump that's not working. And this is a slant to modern cars that you can actually access stuff in here. Unlike things like a Merc G-Wagon that you can't get to anything. So let's see if we can make the washer bottle work. Alright, so the washer bottle I think can just retract back and pop out like that. That is probably the easiest removal I've seen. We can pull the plug off here and we'll find ourselves a 12 volt battery of some kind. Get some couple of clip leads and we'll test if our washer pump works. Alright, we're in the senior engineer's workshop today. We've got 12 volts here and hopefully we should be able to whack a couple of probes on this and test it. Alright, let's give this a test. See what we go. That's a positive there, so we'll go negative that side. We're going. I can feel it trying to turn, but it feels jammed.
Hold on.
Yep. What do we got? 4 amps going into it. It is trying to turn, but it feels like it's got something jammed in there or it's stuck. Might be a bit rusty. I'll talk to the owner here, see if we want to try and refurb it or replace it with a spare. He does have a spare parts vehicle. We'll see what might be causing it some issues. These are little sockets on the top here. That's a 6mm. Let's try a 5. No. It's halfway between a 6 and a 5, and given the age of this and it's a Porsche, it could be Imperial. Let's try a 316. No, go up to 732. 732 fits nicely. Alright, and I need to service my ratchet too. It needs some lubrication. Alright, let's see if we can do this carefully because they're into very old plastic threads. So we definitely do not want to over tighten these. Alright. Two screws. At least there's no spring in here by the feel of it, waiting to throw all the pieces across the table. And this is made by VDO apparently. Made in Germany. So, which would make sense being a Porsche. Right, so here's our pump assembly that seems to spin. We'll leave that largely assembled. The motor drive here. I wonder if that will spin. That does seem to spin. The motor section seems to be okay. So we might give that a spin on the power supply in a minute. There's a little bit of something under here that's fallen out of it. Maybe that was in there and jammed it. The pump assembly seems to be a bit gritty. That feels like that's glued on. I probably don't want to break that right now. And it feels like a gear pump. So that's alright. And we are seeing a bit of, as I'm spinning this, we're seeing some fluid come out. So I guess what we'll do is give it another spin on the power supply, see if it runs. Okay, let's see here. We want to go, which was negative? Positive was that one. So we'll go negative here and go. Okay, she runs alright. That's a good sign. Alright, I guess we'll lube it up and put it back together and see what happens. Right, so what we can do here, this is a little grindy, so we might be able to take a bit of sewing machine oil here and put a couple of drops and hopefully it will wick down that shaft. Though I think the grinding might be the gears inside. So we'll give that a good work around. I think it might have just been that little bit of like tree seed or something that somehow it got itself stuck in between them. So I think we'll be alright. Yeah, that's freeing up a lot now. So obviously we want to get that paddle between those two prongs in there. And we want to assemble this the correct way, which I believe, there's an ant crawling across the table, I believe it was that way. That's the way it goes there. Okay, so that goes over here like so. The two little mystery locator lugs locate into the metal section there. Okay, then we flip over and we put our bolts back in. We have to hold it all together. But I do appreciate that this was designed to be serviced. Yep. We do these up gently because old plastic threads don't need to be too tight, and the pump assembly doesn't require a lot of pressure on this to keep it sealed. Alright, now we'll go and test. Alright, now I have to remember which was the in and the out, although there's two different diameter barbs in here. This I think was the difficult one to get off, and when I was turning it I think that it was coming out that. This was easy to take off, that was the straight flange. Let's stick our connector back on and plonk over these two little lugs here. I think it goes over.
Yeah, that's the correct way.
Yep. That's the way it was in. I think it was in at a slight angle on that one.
Yeah,
oh, hang on. That's right. It goes that way. Because it's got to be slightly downhill so that the air bubbles pump out. That's why we have to do it at that funny angle. Alright. Which means it's got to sit over the two lugs. There we go. Right, we'll plonk it like that for the moment. We'll see what happens.
You test it?
Yeah, give it a pump, see if it pumps water out. Alright. And where would you expect to see? Off the bonnet there. Alright. Sporty cars. Just enough headroom. I literally don't fit in this. And headlights that require grease and ball joints. Alright, we've got ignition, it is spinning and we got water coming out. We're doing alright, we fixed it. That's a good job. While we're here we're going to have a quick look at a couple other things like the joints, self-centering bearings here, and the motor here that lifts the headlights up. Controls this big arm all the way along here. So yep, you can bring them up. You do need to actually grease these from time to time as the headlights coming up. Just interesting. We do have a problem. We can't figure out the high and low beam switch in this. We'll work it out.